Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome on in. What's up, guys? I'm doing some guitar repair, playing. No, I'm gonna do some guitar repair right now. Um, just kind of starting up my day right now, starting up my live. Let's see. So, this is kind of custom right here. Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on? Playing, yes. Love me a Tele. Heck yeah, man! Telecasters are they're awesome. I started out with a Stratocaster, and that's my main guitar, but I love Telecasters. They're awesome guitars. This is actually a custom Telecaster. It's a parts caster. There's many different like the neck is a D neck, and as instead of a normal C neck that you would see on a Telecaster. What I'm doing here is, if you guys could see, I am going to be fixing the electronics. Yesterday, if any of you guys were on my live, I plugged it in, and there was when I let go of the bridge, there was this huge hum, and we're going to try to fix that right now. Well, we will fix it. It's it's a pretty simple fix. So just to kind of show you guys what I'm doing here. If you look at this here, you're gonna see these pickups are the Seymour Duncan hot rails, and what I did was the coil split. They don't have a push pot on this configuration, so the coil split, you don't have to put it anywhere, right? But this was just hanging out loose. So you don't want to do that, because it can ground out some other stuff or cause some other type of buzz, you know what I mean? So I kind of put it away. You were obsessed with Crossroads as a kid? That's a sick movie, man. I love that movie. I hope they don't try to remake it and ruin it. Um, that's awesome, man. Yeah, the that's a great movie. It's cool. I heard Steve Vai wrote all the parts, like everything to the movie. That's pretty cool. Steve Vai was recently at he was recently in Hollywood at the Hollywood Guitar Center, signing some guitars, and I think he had like a pedal or something like that he was promoting. I can't remember, but I didn't end up going. I think Steve I was cool. I like him. He's a pretty dope guitarist. Oh, that's awesome. That's what you're learning right now? That's cool, man. Yeah, that's some heavy duty stuff. So what I like to do, guys, is I like to go ahead and put a cloth right here, just like that, just so that if I spill any solder, it's not going on the guitar. Um, tell you guys a quick story. When I was at Guitar Center, I had a customer that brought in a custom Gibson ES335. It was a custom ES335, and this was many years ago. So I was kind of new at um, doing repairs. I wasn't new, but I was still a little green. You know what I mean? And so what happened was the customer brought in the ES335. It was an olive green. It was a beautiful guitar, and he wanted me to do a pickup swap on that guitar. It was a hollow body, right? Obviously, ES335s are hollow body, and I was careless, man. I didn't do any of this stuff right here, which was extremely, you know, not a good idea if you are working on a guitar, especially a guitar of that price range. And again, this was custom shop Gibson, and what ended up happening was when you do a pickup swap from the F holes on a hollow body, you have to fish them out. It's super annoying. I hate doing those. But I ended up dropping some solder, and it went right on the paint. And yeah, I had a heart attack, literally. I went to my boss. I told her what happened, and I was hyperventilating, and she told me, "Don't worry about it. I can get anything. I can get anything from anywhere." And I knew that it was custom, and I told her, "You don't understand. Like, this is a custom shop." And she called, and when they told her it would take about, I think at the time it was like 6 months to a year to get anything out of the custom shop. Yeah, she told me I was screwed. So, lesson learned. Definitely, if you are going to be working on anyone's guitar, I highly recommend you doing something like this. Again, what I'm doing is I'm pretty much covering up the guitar, and just so that solder doesn't get anywhere if it drops or spills or anything like that. Another thing too is it doesn't matter what the guitar is. It could be $100 guitar. You just don't want to give your guitar back to your customers with dings and nicks and stuff like that. So be very careful. I'm extremely careful now, and yeah. Did I go full Marty McFly? I love that movie. I actually live right close to the mall that they filmed that movie at, and then they filmed it in Whittier, which is pretty cool. You could see where the school was at and stuff like that. Yep, that's right. Music is my medicine. Yeah, yeah, it's a lesson learned, man. And I'm so glad that I was working at Guitar Center and they had my back with like the pay and stuff. They like threatened to write me up, but they never wrote me up for that, which they should have. I probably would have. The guitar ended up being $6,000, and Guitar Center ended up buying it off of him for, I think they bought it off of him for like 4,000. So they took a little loss, but hey, man, it is what it is. Lesson learned. I like to share that story because, you can learn from other people, and that's pretty cool. Oh, nice. Universal. I love that place, man. I actually I'm so glad that I got to see the ride. I went on the ride right before they closed it. I don't know what year they closed it, but now it's the Simpsons ride. But yeah, I went to Universal when they had that, and that's cool, man. I love Universal. I used to have a pass and go all the time, and I love movies, man. I think that's why I like it there so much. Thank you so much for the hearts. I think that's why I like it there so much. But yeah, let me get started on this, guys. I like to digress. I like to chat with you guys and read all the comments and stuff like that. But yeah, let me go ahead and do this. Um, so I have my soldering kit. This is a, you know, it's a reasonable soldering kit. Weller. I got this at like Home Depot. I think I got it for like 35 bucks or something like that. Um, but yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna grab my flux. This is soldering paste. I use this. There's some people that don't use it. They just like to melt and melt, and because technically there is some flux on the solder, but man, I like to go ham on this stuff and make sure it's not going anywhere. So I'll show you guys. And then I have this little guy right here that tins my stuff. Um, and then I have this rosin core, 6040 rosin core. That's what we used to use at Fender, so that's what I use, here. Um, this stuff right here, Alpha Fry, it's a really good brand. I like it, and it's kind of pricey, but it works. What's my favorite guitar to work on? Man, I like working on I like working on acoustic guitars, and my favorite thing to do on them is I like doing body repairs. So if there's let's say there's a chip or something like that, I like to go ahead and do like drop fills, and I'll show you guys that stuff when I get around to it. But I just did one. I didn't go live on it, but that's my favorite thing to do. I like working on acoustic guitars. Um, but then again, I like working on all guitars, so I don't really. If I had to choose, it would be acoustic, but I don't really like have a favorite, per se. But yeah. So let me go ahead and do this. I'm gonna turn this thing on. Okay. All right. NC, you asked what is your for guitar tools. What you can do for a lot of the like files and stuff like that, I like to get them at StewMac. Um, I know there's like Geyer, and it's called Geyer. There's a brand on Amazon, but I like StewMac. I think StewMac for me is the best. Um, they just their tools are quality, man. They are very expensive though. I'm gonna tell you that. Like these. Like this file right here, I think there were two files. I think it was like 300 to 400 bucks just for these two files. There's two of them. There's this is a crown file, but I got two of them for about that price. Um, it's pretty expensive though, again, they're made really well in my opinion. But to get there's some other stuff you can get cheaper, like the fret hammer. I think it's like 35 bucks on StewMac. You can get the pretty much the same fret hammer at Michaels. Michaels has a lot of cool stuff. They even have spatulas if you're gonna take off like bridges and stuff like that. Um, they have some pretty cool stuff at Michaels. I think Michaels are like $5 to $10, and StewMac you get a set for like 45 to 50 bucks. So there are some things that you can find at other stores. I would look at like this little chisel set right here. I got this little chisel set. It comes with a bunch of them. This is when I'm working on wood and stuff like that. If you go to Michael's, this set I think was like $15. On StewMac, it would have been like 50 or 60. But those are little things that I think you can definitely use. Um, that can yeah. So that can definitely help you out and see. Um, Yeah, yeah, that's NC. That for sure, man. StewMac has some solid stuff. There used to be a website called LMI. I don't think they exist anymore. I think StewMac bought them out, but LMI stuff was really good too. I think they were a little cheaper, but StewMac. And if you're gonna buy from StewMac, they do have. If you're gonna buy a lot of stuff from StewMac, like let's say you're like, you know what, I'm gonna buy little by little. You should buy their they have what is it called? It's like a service thing where they will not charge you shipping, and you can buy anything you want. They won't charge you shipping. I think it's like 50 bucks a year, and it's worth it if you're gonna buy a bunch of stuff. If you're gonna buy one thing and you know you're not gonna come back, I wouldn't buy it because it's kind of pointless, But yeah, just look at StewMac. They have some cool stuff. I would look at some of the arts and crafts store too, like Hobby Lobby or Michaels. I don't know if I'm in California, Southern California, so I don't know where you're at, but they do have some cool stuff, man. Some of those little arts and crafts store, they have some cool stuff that you could use. Like there's syringes. I use the syringes when I do like anything with glue, and I got a pack over there at Michael's for $5, and StewMac I think it's like, I don't know, it's more. There's some things you can get on on that stuff. How did I start learning this? I'm gonna tell you the story real quick. Talkie decks. How I started doing this. This is a true story, man. I'm gonna tell you. I was working at Lowe's. I used to work in the lumber industry, and what ended up happening was I was working for a position, for a sales position, and they were going to give it to me. They gave me meeting. They told me meetings about it and everything. We had meetings about me getting the position and everything. And what happened was my boss wrote me up for something that wasn't even my fault, and I told him to f off. And when I told him that, I left work, or I left the job, and I was unemployed for one day until Fender called me, and they told me, "Hey, you applied about a year ago. We are hiring now. We were hiring for a tune tester." And yeah, so I went to the interview. I got the job. I started working at Fender. They taught me the way they do it. They do everything over there really cookie cutter, unless it's like the custom shop. Those guys really know what they're doing, but it's all cookie cutter. Like they're setting up, you know, hundreds of guitars a day, and the setups are like very, very fast, and so they have like these like it's literally they have like these stencil kind of things where they put like a bar on the neck, and they do like the intonation. Like it's not like they listen for it or they use like a strobe tuner for intonation. So it's very fast paced, very, very you're working all the time there. It was so cool going in there, seeing Fender, getting the discounts and everything, but it was probably the worst job I've ever had, in my opinion. After that, I went to Guitar Center, and Guitar Center, I was able to learn how to work on a variety of guitars, not just Fenders. So that's pretty much what happened. And then I opened up my own business 2 years ago, and yeah, I would say if you're gonna do that, make sure your customer service is on point, man. You got to take care of your customers. That's the number one thing in my opinion. Um, but yeah, that's that. That's pretty much how I started. What's your opinion about Floyd Roses? If you're gonna get a Floyd Rose, I highly recommend the Floyd Rose 1000. The Floyd Rose Special, it's okay, but anything below that is, in my opinion, it's garbage. Like if you see the Jacksons, any of the Jacksons that you see at Guitar Center that are like 200 to 300 bucks, those Floyd Roses, that's like soft metal. I mean those things. That's not a real Floyd Rose. Another thing too, and this is just my opinion. When if you're getting a Floyd Rose, in my opinion, don't put nines on there. That's like pointless. You know what I mean? Um, it has to do with the tension, and it's just kind of annoying. But I wouldn't put nines on a Floyd Rose. I would put tens or higher. Um, do I make them with 24 frets? You know what? I don't. I'm not a guitar maker. I do a lot of repairs. Guitar making is awesome, but I just find myself more doing repairs. And that's because I feel like that's what kind of booms around my area more. Um, but yeah, I do more repairs, brother. So sorry about that. NC, that's cool, man. That you do that. That you swap parts out and stuff, and that's good. That's fret work is. I'll tell you this much: if you're gonna do fret work, do it on a guitar that it's yours, and it's kind of like a bastard guitar. Because I oh man, dude, I'm just gonna tell you guys that there were times at Guitar Center, and I was there for quite some time. There were times where I literally, like, I would do fret work and it was horrible. It just wasn't good. And I not that I beat myself up about that, but it's like, damn, I can't believe I didn't give him the best service, because that's what I'm all about now. Like, I'm going to give you the best service. I'm going to give you the best fret work that I can do. And it's going to be great because I worked so hard at perfecting it. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah, what I would do is StuMac has some books. They have some fretworking books. There's a lot of information online. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of information of people that, sometimes they don't know what they're talking about. And who am I to say that? But it's like there's some do's and some don'ts, and that's like the risky thing about looking online. But just by looking at like the video quality and stuff, most of the time you can tell which ones are legit. So NC, I really recommend you getting those books from StuMac, and because they show you like part by part. You know what I mean? I think they even have like videos or like stuff like that. That's awesome. Talkie decks, that's cool, man. Yeah, I started in a lumber yard too, man. It was heavy work. I was a yard dog for about 5 years, and you know, they moved me into hardwoods, which was cool. But that's awesome, man, dude. Congratulations. Sorry, I don't know if you're a dude or a dudette, but congratulations on that. That's awesome. 11's on a Floyd, yeah. The thicker the string, the more tone you're gonna get out of it. That's why when people bring eights to me, I mean, I don't mean to be a jerk, but I just don't like eights is ridiculous. Um, this is this is a Telecaster. It's a custom Telecaster, a parts caster. The customer built it, and I think the neck is a Japanese neck, and the neck is it's custom. It's it's a D neck. So if you like playing Floyd, not Floyd Rose's, Les Pauls, then their necks are really round like a baseball bat. That's pretty much how this neck is, And usually on a Telecaster, you don't have that neck. You have more of like a C-shaped neck. Um, I see. Yeah, the Mexico guitars. It just depends though too, because when I was working at Fender, a lot of the this is funny. I don't even know if I should be saying this. They didn't make me sign anything, but a lot of the guys there, I would hear stories about going to, because they have a plant in Mexico, right? And it's in Ensenada, so it's not too far from here, from Southern California, where the Fender factory's at. And yeah, there's stories and upon stories of people. Some of the guys, that the custom shop guys, like going over there because, they say they like to get hammered and, and eat tacos and stuff like that. So, but they always go over there and they build guitars over there too, And I'll tell you what, I'm not trying to bash on Fender, but I'll tell you what, man. Um, Fenders, they're not completely made in the USA anymore. If you have a Fender that says made in USA, that's a made in USA Fender. If you have a Fender that says Fender Corona, California, that's not, those parts are from everywhere. They're not strictly from the USA. So that's that's something to think about. If you're gonna buy if you're gonna buy a Pro 2, right, an American Pro 2, and it says Corona, California, that bridge probably came from Thailand. Like all the parts came from everywhere. So that's something to think about. If you get a Mexican Stratocaster, those are you're probably looking at like to $900, and if you change the nut on those things, if you change, um, the pickups, you pretty much have something that's gig worthy. You know what I mean? In my opinion, of course. Um, yeah, absolutely. Let me see. And um, acoustics, yeah. I mean, I pretty much work with all types of guitars, but acoustics for sure. If you have an acoustic guitar, the best thing to do is, if you keep it in the case, you have to have a humidifier. I'm gonna show you guys this little thing right here. You go on Amazon. This thing is like $6. It has a little sponge inside. You take it out from the top and you wet the sponge. You damp it, and then what you do is, you put it in your in the sound hole, and it holds on the strings, and kind of like that. It shows you a little picture like that. You put it in the sound hole, and I'm telling you right now, that's it's gonna be really good for your guitar. Your guitar's not gonna dry up. It's not gonna start cracking. The bridge is not gonna start lifting, and it's just gonna be good. I would highly recommend you guys do that, if you guys have acoustics. Yeah, Toxidex. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not a I always think music is subjective. If somebody's like telling you to use this, or telling you, like, I can recommend stuff, um, but if I'm like telling you, no, use this, like, that's ridiculous. Everybody's different. That's stopping you from liking something you like. But when you have eights on your guitar, that's like, it's okay. I'm gonna tell you what it's like. It's like those people that come up to me and they have those little gloves on their fingers to not like ruin their fingers or callus their fingers. And like that right there is like ridiculous to me. Like, why are you even playing guitar? You're supposed to build those calluses. Yes, Toxidex. Anything from Japan, is gold, in my opinion. A Squire, if you get a Squire from Japan, you're getting like a Mexican Stratocaster, pretty much, and that's saying a lot because those guitars are not bad. They're not bad at all. But yeah, anything from Japan is really really good. Any Yamaha from Japan is amazing. You know what? Squires are not bad right now. They're actually doing really, really good. They went up in price though. You can get a Squire. If you guys look at the Squire classic vibes, man, those guitars are super surprising, man. They're pretty damn solid for the price. I would choose that over any lower end guitar. So, but they're not $200 anymore. They're more expensive. They're I think they're like 400 to 500 bucks now. But the classic vibe series are really good. The affinity's not bad at all. I actually have Hey babe. Oh, sorry, Ingrid. I have an affinity Telecaster, and that Telecaster's it's pretty damn solid. Oh, that's awesome. And see, did you say Japan? Was it made in Japan or Korea? Those are solid too. If you guys look up the Epiphones, any Epiphone Les Paul that's made in Japan, I think those were the lawsuit guitars. So they actually did a lawsuit on those guitars, and those Japanese guitars are those things are solid. Yeah, I would say so. Toxie decks. It just depends too. You can have eights. I'm not saying you can't have eights, but it all depends on your sound and how you know. But I'm telling you, some people when they first start they use aids because they say it's this and that, and you know if you're breaking any type of string while you're playing, you need to go up and gauge, in my opinion. I highly recommend that. Yeah, the oh my gosh, music is my medicine. I just did a Squire. It was a Jazzmaster. It was probably the best Squire I've ever played. It was better than most of the jazz masters I played that are American, and it's a classic vibe. So, like I said, guys, those classic vibes are amazing. You guys should check them out. Ibanez from Japan. Anything from Japan is gold. Ibanez is a great guitar. Even the ones from Indonesia, they're solid. You have an Affinity Telly. Those are great. Those are good. I just got one, and they have a maple neck, which is cool. See, what I would do is I would change the frets. If you change them to steel frets and you do a good fret job, that's gonna make a huge difference. And change the nut too, because a lot of the nut is they're not like I would get like bone or graphite or something like that. Metal pickguard. Yeah, a lot of the I think it's the Panorama series of Squire have the metal pickguard. I have a bass that has that metal pickguard. It's pretty cool. Schecters are awesome. Yeah, Schecters are great. They're I think they're here in California. I'm not sure. But Schecters are amazing. Yeah, there's some diehard Schecter people. EMGs or Duncans, it just depends, man. If you want some balls, I would go with the EMGs. If you want that passive sound, where it's not too overbearing, I would get that. I would get Duncans. Yeah, music theory and yeah, pretty much. I studied music theory before I did any guitar work. I was a student of music, and yeah, so I know quite a bit of music theory. I stopped learning music theory because I feel like it gets so complex that like it's like, you know what? You can go into the deep end with that stuff, and if you listen to like there became a point where jazz was so hard to listen to because the theory was just so complex that like people like stopped listening to jazz, at one point in history. And it's true, like, most pop music, like they're not going to go deep into the theory, you know what I mean? Which, that theory can help you in other parts of music and stuff like that. It's good stuff to know, but I know up to a certain point, you know what I mean? I have friends that those guys speak a different language, and they live their life by that theory, and it's they're sick like that. But yeah, Schecter is slept on. I think they were at NAM and they had a really cool booth. Yeah, they had really cool stuff. Yamaha's amazing. You know what I'm gonna tell you about Yamaha? When I was at Guitar Center, and Guitar Center, usually it's geared towards, the kids. It literally is. All the kids, that's why they opened up the lessons, because it's all money, right? But with that being said, you have when you walk into that acoustic room, they have all the $200, $300 guitars there first, and then they have all the higher end Taylors and Rodriguez and all the other Gibsons and stuff like that in the back, right? So it never failed. It never ever failed. If you pick up a Yamaha that is $100, $200, $300, and you sit there and strum it, you're gonna be dumbfounded by the price, because they always make a good product. Actually, I was I would do Fender a lot. I would buy Fenders for my acoustic gigs, throughout the years. And I recently switched to Yamaha, and I bought this Yamaha. I think it's called the Folkmaster. That thing is so awesome, and it's my first time owning a Yamaha. So when I gig with that Yamaha, and it sounds beautiful. Yeah, that's true. Toxie Dex, with the music theory, because you can get lost in it, man. It's something that I almost walked out of class a few times when I was going to school, because music theory was so complex. But you definitely have to like it and love it and understand it, and it also depends on the instructor that you have. If you have an instructor that doesn't know how to teach it or doesn't know how to ease into it, they can really confuse you. You know. Yeah. Yeah, Washburn. That was my first guitar ever. Washburn. Actually, I have it somewhere in here, but I'm not gonna dig it out. Um, Washburns are cool. I like Washburns. Um, they're an underrated guitar in my opinion. But yeah, no, I can't show you my guitar collection. I would, but I have all this work to do right here, and I definitely want to get into this. So just to let you guys know, if we do, this is what I like to do, and I'm going to show you guys what I like to do. Okay, what I like to do is I get a flathead screwdriver. Okay, and then I open up my flux. Okay, you can see it right there. I grab a little bit like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ground this pot right here. Okay, so I'm going to kind of bend this lug right here and kind of ground it. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and grab the flux, and I'm going to put the flux like right here. So just like that, I'm going to put it right there. Okay. I'm going to put it right there. Okay. So now it's touching. And then what I do is I go ahead and grab my soldering iron. I'm going to dip it in this thing real quick, make sure it's tinned. When it's tinned, it's all like, it looks like foil paper, okay? It's all shiny and stuff like that. That's what you want. You don't want to... And then over here, there's a little sponge, and I'm going to go ahead and tap it on the sponge, because I wet the sponge, and it takes all that crap off. You see that? You see how it's like nice and good? Then I'm going to go ahead and get my solder. I'm just going to tap a little bit like that. I have a little solder right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it there. Just like that. Just like that. And the flux, it will dry up and it's going to be fine. The flux really, really helps for this stuff to stick. Okay. Again, it also has to do with how hot your soldering tip is. Okay. So I have that there. I grounded this lug right here. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab this stuff right here, which is my black wire. And I always like to keep the color code the same. So unless I don't have, like, let's say I don't have this stuff right here, this wire, I always like to, sometimes I'll grab a white color, but I want to stick to black because that's the ground and I like to keep that. So just to let you guys know, I have this. Where did I buy this? I think I bought it at a store. I forgot what store I bought this at, but usually this one is 22 gauge, okay? This is a 22 gauge wire. That's pretty much what guitar companies use. Sometimes they use a little thicker, sometimes they use a little thinner. And then you got to get the stranded, okay? So this is a stranded braid. It's like the braided wiring, because you can get the solid, and the solid is like, it's like a solid piece of metal inside, okay? I'll show you what that looks like right now. So I kind of measure right here, and then I'm going to cut like up to here. Okay, so I'm going to go and cut up to there. Bam, just like that. I got my wire right here. I got these cool wire strippers. Okay, this is what you want. Pretty much go right here. I'm going to, bam. Okay, so you see that it just stripped the wire for me? Like, just like perfect. Okay, that's cool. So, I'm going to go ahead and grab this. This is another cool tip right here, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this, the wire right here, and I'm going to dunk it right here. Just like that. You see I got some flux on the tip. And then I'm going to grab my soldering iron again. What I like to do, too, is I like to just, like, kind of just have this thing like that, you know? You see how I just have it up in the air? And then just grab a little bit, bam, just like that. If you stay on there too much, it's gonna burn real quick, okay? So then I'm just gonna tin this, just like that. And this wire now is tinned. It has some solder on it. It's gonna stick really, really fast, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and tin that, and then I'm gonna bam. So now you can see that I got this ground here and it ain't going anywhere. You see that? In my opinion, that is the best way that I have, that's the way I like to solder, because it's on there and it's not going anywhere. Soldering is a skill within itself, and it's definitely something that that can be very difficult to learn, you know. So you see I got this piece now there. I'm going to go ahead and do what I did before. I'm going to tin this side now. just like that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and boom. Bam, that's tinned already. And you'll see it, it's like a chrome now. Okay, it's like a chrome little. Huh. Okay, so no.
Did you get a hold of your cousin? No, you were at school.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get a hold of him right now.
Yeah, and don't forget to get copies of your taxes.
Oh yeah, yeah. He told me he to go over there when when I had time. Uh huh. So yeah, so now you can see everything is on there, and look at that. I have my little ground right there. Okay. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you guys this. If you guys are working on if you guys are working on damn, my hair is so jacked up, guys. I'm sorry. If you guys are working on someone else's guitar, um the best thing to do, and this is just me, if you see, I left some slack. You see that? I left some slack. That's probably a little too much slack, but you don't want it to be so tight because it's ridiculous when people do that. There's some other techs that I know, that I tell them, hey, did you work on this guitar? Yeah, I worked on this guitar. I did a full rewire. And their full rewire is so tight that like it doesn't give you any slack to work with. Um, this is an easy guitar to work on because everything's right here. But when you have stuff like coming out of the guitar, like on the holes, like coming out of the holes that they make for like the pots, that's when it gets super just tedious when everything is close together. Yeah, guys. So now that I did that ground, what I want to do is, if you guys were with me yesterday, you guys saw that there was a ground issue. Okay, there was a very big ground issue here. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect this, and let's see what it sounds like. So now you could see there's no buzz. Yesterday when I was see, there's no buzz. There's nothing. Yesterday when I was there's no buzz. Yesterday when I plugged it in and I didn't have that ground wire, there was a bunch of buzz when I took my hand off of the bridge. But you see, everything's good. Yeah. Yep. So it's pretty much good. Now I'm going to go ahead and put it all back together. Let's see with this. Let's see if this does a difference too, because I'm talking about when I put all the guts back in. So when I put all these guts back in, let's see if it so you can't really you can't hear a buzz at all. And again, guys, if you guys were here with me yesterday, you can hear that when I would do this, you can hear that there was a buzz. There you go. That's everything. Volume, tone. Another check that I like to do is I'm going to go to the neck position. Let's go ahead and tap the neck. There you go. Nothing on the bridge because we don't have that activated. We're going to go in the middle position. Bam. Just like that. Now the bridge position, and there's nothing coming over here, which is good. Check the volume. Everything's good. So that's pretty much how I like to check that. So this guitar is pretty much done. I did everything. I did the setup. I did the intonation. And the last step that I like to do is I like to give it a little clean, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right. Okay, so just give it a little clean everywhere. I've already kind of polished this guitar, so the polish is still in there, and once you wipe it down, it starts to look a lot better. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Here, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys take a look. That is a Telecaster. It is a custom Telecaster. The neck is a custom Telecaster. And sorry, it's a custom neck. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for joining. I really appreciate you guys. You guys can go ahead and subscribe to my channel. You guys could check out my performances on YouTube, and check out my Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at Lou Lagoon. I'm going to go ahead and see you guys later. I'll go on probably tomorrow or the day after. You guys have a good day. Peace out.